this is Jacob Stitch Duran, and this is your pro tip of the day. Wrapping hands, always a vital point of any boxer or MMA fighter. You know, their hands are their weapons. You got to protect them as much as possible. So with Cortez Bay here, I'm going to show you how to wrap a hand for boxing. And it's really the same for MMA, except we don't use the padding. But the first thing you got to do is you got to create a padding. And that gives them that extra support on the knuckles. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is what I call a small wrap. If you want to add more to it, you could do it in increments of 5, 25, 30, 35. But just for the sake of wrapping hands today, we're going to go with the small wrap. The important thing with the fighters, you always got to communicate with them. Cortez, everything okay with the hands? Any problems?
Good.
All right. You know, the thing with the hands is you have to protect the knuckles, you have to protect the bones here, the thumb, and the wrist. And you do that through the proper application. Most commissions require 15 yards of gauze, 6 yards of tape. But, you know, for the most part, the bottom line is protect the fighter's hands. But make sure the hand's open. There we go. And I always, as the thumb goes this way, you wrap away from the thumb. I start at the wrist, and then I'll work it towards the knuckles. I'll normally go 1, 2, 3, and then I'll apply the padding. And the padding, you just kind of set it in there. And then you have the fighter close his hands. Close your hands. How they feel? Good. Okay, always communicate with the fighter. It's very important. Okay, open. And you got to protect that padding. And it's a zigzag all the way. Over the thumb, under the thumb, and then away from the thumb, and you go over the knuckles again. 1, 2, 3, and then start working it down. So you go over the thumb again, and instead of coming back up, take it towards the wrist. All right, once you go to the top of the wrist, bring it back down again. And it's the same formula all the way around. Over the thumb, under the thumb, and away from the thumb, over the knuckles. And, you know, the thing with it is practice on yourself, because that way you get to know how much tension a fighter has. Some guys like it tight, some guys don't like it too tight. And you got to find that happy medium with them. So it's the same formula, top and bottom. Okay. And then start bringing it down. And then, you know, ask the fighter, how's it feeling? Okay, I always communicate with the fighter because, you know, every fighter, their hands are different. And, you know, once you start wrapping their hands, it's important for you to communicate with them all the time. And, you know, you're part of their team. You bring a lot of confidence to them once you start wrapping their hands, because this is the first sign that they're going to battle. You're getting them ready to go to battle, just kind of like the old gladiator days where you're prepping up the fighter to go out to the arena. Well, that's what we're doing right now. It's just the modern day arena and the modern day gladiator. All right, feeling okay? Good. All right. And it's going to take you some time. I've done thousands of these, so, you know, I could do it pretty quick. But take your time, make sure that it's done right. And like I say, you start at the top, and you always finish at the top. All right, this is your application of 15 yards of gauze. Like I say, that's for most athletic commissions. Okay, then have them stretch it, open it up. Let it conform to the hand. How's it feeling? Good. Okay, close it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to create some strips that go between the fingers. Okay, turn it, open. Get that in there. Kind of close it up. Bend it so that it doesn't stick. Turn it, close it, close it. And right where the knuckles are, right there, that gap, you put it right in there. Turn it. Open. And turn it, close it. And then once again, you always communicate. How's it feeling? Good. Okay, turn it, open. And we'll get one more of these. Turn it, close it. All right, and then you just kind of crisscross them right there. Now you start applying the tape. Here's really where the art comes in. And once again, you wrap away from the thumb, you know, and you check with the fighter, make sure that it's not too tight, not too loose, because being too tight is as bad as not being tight enough. So you check with him, how's it feeling?
It's good.
Okay, open. Then you start crisscrossing. Turn it, close it. No, here we go, just close it. And then you start crisscrossing, and what you're doing is you're protecting these bones. Open, close it. You know, so you've created a little X right there, start protecting these bones. And, you know, there's been many fighters, or their hands have been loose, and as soon as they hit, and I think that experience has happened to you, right?
Right.
You know, and maybe tell me about it. What kind of rap have you had that hasn't been a good rap? You know?
It's not as firm as the way you wrap the hands. You know, you make sure the whole surface is wrapped good, but a lot of people wrap it too thin and they don't wrap it. They don't wrap the whole surface, and once you catch the impact of hitting somebody,
and then
get out of the ring, your hand is hurting.
Yeah, and then not only that, but sometimes if it's too tight, then the hand swells up. Open, and then you start going across. Close it, and you start open. Close it. You start putting all this pressure on there to protect those bones. Just keep it closed. All right, and you take it, like I say, all the way to the top of the wrist. You know, you don't want to go on the bottom too much, because now you start closing up those blood vessels and putting pressure on them, and then the hand starts swelling up. Open, and close it, and just keep it closed. And you know, one of the best raps I've ever seen was Felix Trinidad's father. And I actually got this from him, but I call this the plywood effect. You know, you go across, you go X and all that. Well, I go this way also, so you kind of give it tension all the way around. And I call this the Papa Trinidad technique. He had a beautiful rap, and you know, I don't mind saying that I took some of those ideas from him. And you know, a lot of times that's how you have to learn, is by watching somebody do it. And then, you know, communicate. How's it feeling, champ?
Good.
All right. You keep working with him, and and then he works with you, kind of give it a little angle. There we go. Okay. And then just as a final, just kind of close it up this way. Make sure you get all the bubbles out. And then I use this Power Flex, which is a great tape. Apply that on there. Same technique as you do the gauze. Start from the top, work down to the bottom, open. And you find this here, keep it open. Close it, open. Over the thumb, under the thumb, close it. And away from the thumb, open one more. And close it. And once again, you stop right on top. And just apply pressure, make sure everything is intact. Turn it, open, and just to make it a little bit more comfortable, go ahead and cut it right to where the wrist bends. Okay, and kind of snip it right there, cut it here, and this you could tuck in. And as a fighter, when he close your hands, when he could be able to get a good grip, because you have this bar right there. And just got to make this look better. Okay, turn it, close it. You ask the fighter, how's that feel?
Great, great.
All right. Well, that's your pro tip of the day.